there, good evening and welcome to Club Star Wars. Without further ado, we'd like to welcome our special guest, Mr. Kevin Thompson.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good, good. How are you?
Oh, the roar of applause. Oh, please.
Showbiz.
Yes.
It looks lovely and warm where you are, Kevin. Where are you right now?
It is. I'm just outside of LA, and it's a little breezy, but it's nice. You know, it can't beat it. We would like rain. We might have rain tomorrow. It's nothing like what you guys get in.
No, you can have some of ours. You really,
no,
yeah.
We get like we have thunder watch, storm watch. We get like a quarter inch.
Yeah,
right. Just enough to dirty your car.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but obviously you've spent a bit of time under our rain.
A little bit. I've been there. I've been there twice. I went there for a week on Return of the Jedi, and then I was there for London Film and Comic Con.
And that's where we met in 2000.
Yes, about 2 years ago, 2019, 18.
Yeah, 18, I think it was. Yeah.
You know, after last year, it's just everything's just like we'll be talking kind of like BC before COVID.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Do you remember BC?
Yeah. When we could go and see people, touch people,
when
do
we can
stuff.
actually hug and go to a convention and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But hopefully it'll be good.
It'll be back. It'll be back. Hopefully.
We'll be back.
Yeah.
Yes. So
I just got vaccinated.
Excellent. Good job.
So you're all good?
I'm all good. Ready to go. Yeah. Got the double dose. I'm ready. Go with. Come on.
Excellent.
Bob and weave.
Good to hear. So, in terms of speaking of BC or as you've said, in terms of like work and stuff, have you been able to work since before Corona, or have you done any work at all?
I was doing a lot of the Comic Cons. I was working and then all of a sudden it just came to a screeching halt. Hollywood shut down. Different things were just put on hold, and I have a couple of things that are on, maybe kind of almost just waiting for some funding, waiting for an executive to say yay or nay, and that's basically where I'm at right now with things. So it's like it's still a waiting game. There's been some auditions, but it's when you're my type, it's few and far between, especially because of CGI. I mean, I know Star Wars is bringing back the costumes and things, but think about it. I mean, we have Peter Dinklage, and we have Warwick Davis, and they're doing. And then you guys have Annabelle Davis in the UK, and she's playing on a TV, like a teeny bopper show, which is great because it's probably one of the first times ever that a show has used a little person as like the teeny bopper's friend, like the main person in charge of Gidget, friend. And you think, oh, that's so. Why don't they do that more often? Where people with disabilities are 20% of our population, but there's not 20% of disabilities on TV or in movies. That's the tough thing there. My wife was probably the head of the PTA out here. She had an award at the elementary school named after her. Everybody thought we worked there when we were just volunteering the whole time. But when's the last time you saw a little person? I don't mean to bitch, but it's just, we're not teachers. They don't think of us as a teacher, as a doctor. They don't think of us as, things like that. They're thinking of us, we have a circus thing. We have a carnival thing. It's like, really?
Sure.
They don't think of it as
the scope is much more wide open. Yeah.
As a group of friends, Disney will draw a cartoon with tall guys and short guys, but then even Snow White and the Huntsman. The 7 little guys. Ian McShane, I don't think so. All those guys were all average size, put on little people bodies, and then their head was put on top of it. Because why?
Yeah,
They
strange
write a
decision.
they write a great part, and they decide, yeah, you know what? It's such a great part, and having a little guy, nah. Let's use an average sized guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
crazy.
that is strange.
Yeah. But so it's a constant battle. Someday maybe it'll change, but it's just one of those. It's almost like when I don't kind of. It's when a lot of white actors were portraying other ethnicities, and they didn't realize that. Oh, maybe we should. Gosh, maybe we should use an ethnic person to play that ethnicity.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Thunderbolt.
that would be great. Let's have an Indian, an English Indian play an English Indian who migrated here from India, or an English Pakistani who moved here and actually do that. Oh, that'd be great. Freddie Mercury, we never knew was of those descents until the movie. Did you know that?
Yeah, I knew he was from. Was it Zanzibar? Is it Zanzibar?
Zanzibar, yeah, Zanzibar.
Yeah, that's right.
I had no idea.
Farouk.
No, I didn't know. I wasn't aware.
I'm a bit of a rock nerd, so.
I love Queen. I love that. I mean, I remember that whole. What the hell happened to Queen?
Yeah.
What the that whole when they cut their hair and it was like, what happened?
Yeah. Queen is timeless.
Those first albums were so, and then all of a sudden you got into those other things. And it was just,
yeah. I was
always good to listen to in the car. Queen, definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was lucky enough to meet Brian and Roger a few years ago, so that was pretty cool. Okay.
Those are nice. That's great.
We just got a couple of comments coming in. Just people saying good evening. So you were listening and enjoying, I hope, our music at the beginning, Kevin. So
yes, I was.
Andy, our composer, says evening, boys. So that's from Andy.
Hey, Andy, how are you?
We've also got comment from Matt, who's saying, "Hey guys, hello, welcome to the show."
Matt.
Also Brian. Also my mate James is saying hello there. Hey up, guys. So Andrew's got another comment on that. This is the issue that Ricky Gervais's show "Life's Too Short" highlights.
Right, that was
with Warwick Davis.
Yeah, Warwick's a great guy. When I first met him in London at Under the Rain on Return of the Jedi, he was just he really, the whole crew and the cast just really fell in love with him. He was just and he's just always just been a really nice guy. And Warwick he and his wife Sammy are heads of the LPUK, which help little people of the UK in whether it be social issues. I don't know about economic, but just a lot of families do not accept that their child is little.
Right.
And to get them through the minefield of childhood, just growing up, they're head of the LPUK, and it's a wonderful organization over there. They've done a great job.
Brilliant.
Excellent.
Great.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean it's kind of quite lucky for people like me being part of the Star Wars community, is that I've got to meet so many little people over the years, obviously because of the movies, but some of them have become friends, so it's kind of like I don't see it the way other people do. I think
you forget we're short.
I do. I do.
It's society that reminds me that I am. It reminds me that people outside of, you forget that you are, and then you go to reach for the handy teller for the bank, and it's like, nuts. Now you got to jump up on it or something, or the counter at the deli. It's like,
trying to get somebody's attention.
Get back.
Yeah.
I'm next.
Yeah.
So in terms of, I mean, obviously I know you're in LA at the moment. Is that, have you always been in LA? Did you move from another part of America to sort of getting involved in entertainment? How did that begin?
No, it's kind of crazy when you really think about my family history. During the Spanish migration to California in the 1700s, a guy named the captain of the ship was Portolo, and one of the sailors on the Portolo exhibition was my great 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 grandfather. So
Okay.
he at one time owned the whole San Fernando Valley, and his name was Juan Francisco Reyes. Yes, I
Wow.
know. I do look very Spanish, don't I? That olive skin of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good skin. Good
And
skin.
it's just, and he made this land, and it was, had we owned the San Fernando Valley now, we'd be gazillionaires, because it's worth like, 500 and something billion. It's almost worth as much as Elon Musk. But the church came in and said, this is a great place for a mission. And so then my grandfather got moved. And so since the 1700s, my family has been here. My father moved from Washington, but basically I've been here for my whole life.
Your whole life, and yeah,
Wow.
a lot of generations.
Yes, and in fact, there's a building down in San Fernando Valley, which was it's called the Reyes Adobe. That's my great grandfather's. He was the first mayor of Los Angeles. But things happen, and people, sell off pieces of land. And my grandfather was dirt poor during the Depression. He had lost his job. He got very sick. He was a painter, and they didn't have any. You don't think of like healthcare and everything like that. He got very, very sick. He should have died, but my grandmother kept him alive. But when once you lose your job during the Depression, and that lasted almost 10 years,
Yeah.
it's tough to get another job. So
Yeah.
my family went through a tough time with that one and such. But it's just we've been here for a while, and everybody says, "Yeah, I've just moved here," and I'll tell them that story, and they'll go, "Wait, what?"
You're part of the furniture. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got
Is
one
it-
for you.
It's in your blood.
So I mean, there's talks, and my mother just died. We went through all her over last July, and we were going through all these things, and he had a cousin. We call him my cousin, but he really wasn't. He was just, his family was on the Portolo exhibition too, but he was Leo Carrillo, who was in like you guys aren't old enough, some serial comedy, not comedies, but called Cisco Kid in the 50s. And
I've
so
heard of
he
that,
played
yeah.
Sancho. He was the sidekick. And so it was just, and I've never met him, but he had done over 100 films. So that's the closest I was to having somebody in the business. I had to learn it all for myself. My family still doesn't understand this whole thing.
You're the first of your family to get into the sort of showbiz side of things.
Yes, I'm the first. I mean, my mom and dad did plays in high school, but I was the first one to actually get paid for it.
Brilliant.
Right.
Yeah.
So what was the impetus then? What was the first thing that made you? Did you see another actor or a particular play, or that made you want to become involved in entertainment? What was?
I started playing on back in when I was just a child. My mom got me onto a. Do you guys remember Billy Barty? The wizard from Willow.
Oh yes. Yes.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Well,
The
Billy
white
had
beard.
yes. Well, Billy had a 70-year career. He started in the 20s at 3 years old, but he was always a sports player, and he's got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And he started doing all sorts of. He started Little People of America, which the LPUK is an offshoot from, but he started that in the 50s, and in fact, the word midget was, we tried to not outlaw, but like say it's not PC back in 1957.
Wow,
And
that
we
far back.
57. We tried to
Yeah.
start using little people.
Right.
It was we started LPA, Little People of America, in '57. So when people say, "Oh, we never heard that term," it's like you're just not listening. You know,
Yeah.
different cultures have changed their different things. We have tried to be Little People of America since 1957, and people said, I don't get it. I'm just going to call you what I want to call you, and it's like,
Bit rude.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
just it's what it it's what it is. You can let it affect you, but it's
Just
those
keep
things.
just keep
But
hammering the point, and eventually,
right, but
yeah.
hopefully, it'll get
he
through.
had a
The
he had a
human race does have a habit of taking a while to evolve, but so,
It's, yeah, so 60 years. What the heck?
there you
Yeah.
go.
But he had a touring team, kind of like the Harlem Globetrotters, but they played baseball and basketball,
Okay.
and we were called the Hollywood Shorties, and so we would play we had our kind of a little bit. We'd bend the rules just a little bit, just to make the fun game a little bit more exciting.
Yeah.
So we would run the wrong way on the bases, or we'd crisscross on the bases, or we would have an exploding baseball and a bat, and we would actually steal the base and run with it. So
Yeah.
we were having a lot of fun time, and I started becoming much more of the comedian, even at a very young age. And at a movie very early, and I started doing things in high school and college. My high school teacher would put on his own money. He would, when people were doing before video, it was like 16 millimeter and Super 8, and he would bankroll the class. And then we would have to sell tickets to a film festival at the very end, so that the teacher could, recoup his money. He didn't
Great.
make anything on it, but he would just, actually he lost money because that wasn't getting any interest on it. So
Yeah.
he would put out several thousands of dollars in not only film costs, but his own cameras he rented, and to not really to us, but he would lend them to us.
Yeah.
And he said, just go with it. We would have to come in with a script and say, this is what I want to shoot. And some of our stuff was really, really cutting edge. And we were doing MTV before MTV.
Yeah.
And so that's how old I am. I not only remember when MTV used to play videos, I remember when MTV started.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and I was like, what the heck is this? Oh, wow, this is cool. And so with that, several of the different people in our from our high school would go off, and they've been producers. Several have won Emmys and Tonys and Oscars from our class, and or from the school, not from my class. And so it was almost it was a big to do to get into the show.
Yeah.
And so when I did get into it, I was like the actor of the year in high school. And so then I went on to do stuff. And then a movie called Under the Rainbow, where they needed a whole bunch of little people, 150. I didn't get one of the talking parts, but I did a lot of little stunts in it. It's a great beer and popcorn type of movie. Watch this movie. It's silly. It's like the making of The Wizard of Oz, but it really
Right.
isn't. It really
Okay.
isn't, but Billy Barty's in it, Carrie Fisher's in it, Chevy Chase, Eve Arden, and so
How have I never seen this movie? Wow, I'm gonna have to look that up.
1980. It came out in
Ah,
1980.
okay.
That's why,
Right.
and it's really it's not on Netflix. It's around there, and so I did
track it
also.
down.
I'm swinging from the chandeliers. I'm doing all sorts of pratfall gags, all sorts of different things, but I never got in the union. And it was like, wow, how come it was one of those, hey, watch him do his stuff, wind him up and watch him go. And I'll say, hey, was that union worthy? Can I get in? And they're like, oh, no.
Really?
I was like, yeah. Very last day, I went up to the producers, and because a stand-in was getting let in to do a stunt for Carrie. And they're all excited. Oh, she's getting in. Oh, Patty's getting in. Oh, boy. And it was like, I've done like 10 to 15 stunts, like what she's doing. And you've always said, these aren't worthy. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I said a few other things, and I turned around and I thought I was going to get fired, but they actually came up and said, um, "Hate to say it, but we thought you were in the union." And it's like, lying to your teeth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Don't give
Hey,
me that.
Pinocchio. Look, it's Pinocchio.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And they said, "Can you sign this contract? We can't pay you, but sign this contract and you're in the union." So it's like,
Okay.
so I did. And
So
that's
you
how I
did,
got in the
yeah.
union. Yeah.
right.
Perfect.
And then my first line was, home again, jiggity jig. Good
Oh,
evening,
yes.
JF. That was my
Fantastic.
very first line, written
Well,
by
The
Mr.
old
Yeah,
era.
Ridley Scott.
Yeah. So
Excellent.
well, that brings me on to my favorite film of all time. So let's talk about that. How did Blade Runner first come about then?
I started as a background extra, and I was just out there with 150 other extras, street extras, urchins, and just all yuck. And we had rain machines 100 feet in the air, and we're wet and it's smoky. And I'm going, why did I say yes? This sucks. This is horrible. And I'm just, one of those things. And it's funny, this English chap comes up to me and says, "You doing all right?" I said, no, it sucks. This is this, and I'm smoky, and I'm wet. And we're shooting nights. We shoot from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Wow,
So you watch the
Tough
real
shoot.
urchins come out, and then the real urchins go back to bed.
Yeah.
The real urchins coming out, and they're going, "Hey, look, there's a movie over here. Maybe we can get some free grub."
Yeah.
And they get in line because they look like everybody else. And they're like, "Are you in production?" "Oh, yeah." they actually smell. So you're like, I don't think he's with us.
He's not part of the movie.
No, he's not part of the movie. He looks like he's part of the movie, but he's definitely doesn't smell like he's part of the movie.
Yeah. That's not for wardrobe. It's not for
you
wardrobe.
you gotta move him out. Production and the different people would go, "No, he's not with us." Oh, I thought it was. Give me the union. Give me the union.
I'm just going to bring
Union
a
rep.
picture. I'm going to bring a picture up for you. I think I pointed this out to you a couple of years ago. I don't know if you'd seen it before, but it's a really great behind the scenes shot.
Yeah, that's John Edward Allen. He's English. Yeah, we were buddies hanging out. Yeah, John came over a few years before that. We were in a group called the Michael Dunn Repertory Theater out of the Mark Taper Forum, and in the L.A. Theater District, LACMA. And so we had a grant, and we never got the production off, but it was some great training. And John was a good friend. He moved shortly after this. He moved to New York, and I've lost touch with him. Oh, and it's funny that he's drinking a beer because the boy liked to drink.
Yeah. So, through his nose there.
There. Yes, it's just you put a straw in there, and there's a.
Brilliant.
You've never had a beer until you've had it go down your nose. Yeah,
definitely not.
Very true.
We've got a couple more here as well, Matt. If you just want to move on to.
Oh yeah.
So that'll be your home again, jiggity jig.
Home again, jiggity jig. Yes.
Yeah, and then we've also got another one, which I think
I don't think
I played 3 different parts in this.
Yeah, so the first of all, well, I'll just spin out of there.
Well, I guess 4 if you count the extra street urchin. That was kind of cut out. I was at the Noodle Bar right in the very beginning of the movie where Harrison Ford meets Edward James Olmos. And I think maybe in the widescreen you might see me. Maybe if you look hard, if you phrase it and go.
Where's Kevin?
Which maybe not.
Yeah.
That's. But I'm there and I'm bitching about it, and Ridley goes, have a sip. And he's got this little paper cup, and he gives me the sip, and it's like, it's some scotch, and it's the good stuff. I'm like, and he gives me a look like, and I was like, I guess I'll stop my bitching. And I didn't know who he was. And I just kind of went, it's like, who's this guy that's got scotch on the set? This is someone else. I go, what do you do? Because it's my first day on the set. And he goes, oh, I'm the director. Ridley Scott. And I'm like going,
oh shit.
You didn't just hear what I just said, right? You just, yeah. Can we just like start over? Just why don't we go back and just say, how you doing? I'll say, great. But I think he liked my openness, and he kept writing parts for me. He kept calling me back. So,
very, very cool.
it was one of those things. It was incredible. I should have just said, yeah, the director said he would never like to see you on the set again. Even, while this production's here, you can't even walk on the lot.
Yeah.
Just
don't speak to Ridley. Don't make eye contact.
Don't make eye contact.
So
that's a big one, yeah.
Did you get some of the, I know, well, obviously Ridley and Harrison apparently didn't get along great and stuff. Did you feel any of that kind of energy when you were
that
shooting
vibe?
I was just happy to be there.
Yeah.
And it probably was happening and I didn't notice it. I went to a Comic-Con, and Sean Young was talking about that she had some friction with that, and Rutger Hauer was talking about his friction with it.
Yeah.
Bill Sanderson and didn't seem to, because I did a lot of my scenes with Bill Sanderson.
Yeah.
And we were just kind of happy to be there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So Bill got go ahead.
Was that the only scene you got to work with Harrison then?
Right there, and then the very beginning of the fight, I'm a smoking clown right before the fight starts. I'm using my mime card skills.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah, I remember that.
I was big with the robot type of things.
Yeah. Well, it was the 80s.
Yeah, it was. And I was taking mime class. And the mime class really helped me get the Ewok job.
Ah, oh, brilliant!
Yeah, because on the audition, it was the audition for the Ewoks. They had hired these two casting guys who had worked with us on Under the Rainbow. So unlike in England, where a lot of little people, except for the actors, didn't know each other. They just met each other on the set there, and they had got them from all over England, and probably, I don't know if there's some from Scotland, Wales, Ireland,
all over. Yeah, well,
all over.
Mike Hembry just had like a day job. I know you probably know Mike. He had a job for like at the airport or something, and his workmates said no, they're looking for little people, and he said next minute I was in a costume. That was it.
Yeah, they were looking for, and with us we had at that time we had a whole lot of little people living in LA because of Under the Rainbow, because of the weather, because we also had the airport at the people would work as mechanics in the aircraft industry. And older ones like from World War II, Lockheed, Grumman Martin, Boeing, they would, before they moved away, they were all stationed out here at the different airports. And a lot of those guys because we're strong up top, and we could hold a riveter and get in there and do a lot of riveting, where someone your size was having a much harder time. And I just grab that riveter and get right there. So there was a job, well-paying job, designed for a little person or a short-statured who's strong to do that. And so then they have families, and then they have little people, and so you had several different reasons why there was just. Now there's not. There's one. It's just there is. There may not. There's quite a few little people that live here. One, because there's 6 million people that live here. In this area. Yeah, 6 million.
Wow.
You forget there's
That's
in
a lot.
just the LA. That's why. Well, you talk about LA traffic. That's why
Bonkers.
there's 6
Yeah.
million people.
In
a desert. Then we need water. You guys go, it's raining again. We go, it's raining. Yay! Yay!
So
we don't say that over it. Yeah.
Fires. Fire.
That's what you got to look out for.
Paddy, can you see that picture I'm sharing at the moment?
Yes, I'm just going to bring this. I'm just going to bring this one up for you, Kevin, just before we jump off Blade Runner. Now this is deleted scene, right?
Yeah. Well, no, actually, he did do that. Rucker didn't know how heavy I was. It was funny. Rucker goes, "I'm going to just pick him up," and I said, "I don't know about that, dude." And one, kind of machismo. I'm like going, dude, no, you don't need to pick me up. No, I'm going to pick you up like you're a big stuffed teddy bear. I'm like, I weigh a lot more than a stuffed teddy bear. Stuffed teddy bear weighs like maybe 10 pounds, maybe. I weigh more than that. So he's, and Rucker's in good shape, right? I'm not saying, Rucker's
big guy, wasn't he?
He's cut, he's chiseled. He's he's got, you see him in the shirt without him. He's buff.
Yeah.
But he's holding me and, oh, wait, we got to move a light. Oh, what? Hold it. Wait, let's get, and okay, we're ready. No, wait a minute. Add another thing here. Hold on. Oh, okay. Yeah. And, he's holding me. And he's like going, it's like when you have children and you realize, wow, they've gotten big.
Yeah,
that's right.
You're not 3 years old anymore.
Yeah,
you're 13.
Yeah,
and so it was he was a good sport. He never. I said, Rucker, you want to put me down? No, I'm good. But I was like, I knew that it was like, and I was kind of embarrassed that it's like, I'm not that light. I'm not. I don't have that. I don't have that girlish figure.
Yeah, that's why they gave you stunts.
Did he manage the scene okay though? Did he?
It was great. Yeah, it was fine, and he didn't lose anything in that. And Daryl was she would take off her makeup when we were like parked next to each other, and she'd go, "Bye, Kev," and I was like, "But," it was like, "Who are you?" And then you get in the car and you're like, "Oh, that was Daryl." Oh my gosh, because she look different. There's just those things.
So it must have been lovely getting back together with those guys. Obviously, it wasn't that long before Rutger passed. I think that was it in New York? Was it New York Comic Con that you did? So it was you. Yeah. I have watched that panel. It was like you, Sean, Rutger, and Joanna. Was it
Bill?
Oh, and Bill.
Bill Sanderson.
Yeah. So that must have been cool.
Yeah, that was. They were kind of. They had a. It was also, I think Sean wanted to get into 2049 a little bit longer. I think somebody had said that she was going to have a bigger part, or maybe she filmed more, and then she had such a small part, so she was a little like, hey.
Yeah.
And, which is normal. I tried to get in. They're like, we're filming in Budapest. And I was like, So is that a no?
Yeah. Listen, a bear would look great in Budapest.
Exactly.
Yes.
Hey, I was like, I could play something else,
Yeah.
There's always, we're on, 40 years later, but
we'll always have LA.
We'll always have LA.
There you go.
So it was, and then I also did a stunt with the car where we jumped Harrison's car.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that was because there's little people trying to get stuff off the car, and
right, and I'm the one that actually gets something off of it.
Oh yeah. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah,
excellent. I'm picturing how many images I'm going to have to get you to sign at one point. I'm going to track down all your roles, and you're going to sign all of them.
So many you wouldn't believe. It'll stack will be this high.
Yes,
it'll be up to here.
I love it. Right, so let's cycle back over to Star Wars then. Matt's got a couple of pictures for you here.
So before bring this one up. Go on.
Yeah, let's do a quick picture first, and then we'll just dive into some of the questions. So, not that one. Let's go on to the clapperbot. Yeah, This is great.
Oh yeah, clapperboard.
So that's
That's
Blue
you on the
Harvest.
left,
me.
right?
That's me, and this is the guy clicking it is Mike Gilden, and he passed away a few years ago. But we were old friends. I got him the stunt job because when we came over, when I first got the job, it was 4 stunt guys, very good. Well, 3 very good stunt guys and me. I just happened to be the young kid on the group. I was only 22. It was only my 3rd film,
Wow.
and but there were in need of people who were like gymnasts, mimes, because we had a styrofoam rock to make it look heavy, so you had
Yeah.
to pretend that this rock is several hundred pounds, and you're picking
Yeah.
because if you pick up a rock that heavy, that's pretty heavy, and here we Ewoks are just going but it's
Yeah.
styrofoam. It doesn't even weigh 10 pounds maybe.
Yeah.
And so it's the production was very interested in my mime skills, and I showed them off, and they're like, "Oh wow!" And I guess there wasn't as many other people who could do that. I also my gymnastics. One of the things I did was I ran. They said, "Can you do any stunts?" And I ran straight into a wall, came back, went into a back roll, went up into a handstand, and did a pratfall on my belly. And I looked at
Nice.
him and I said no.
The cocky guys here.
And they're like going,
Fantastic.
yeah. And so the gymnastic training because I was a gymnast in high school and college, and also
Yeah.
was a wrestler. So the
Right.
sweating. I wasn't a professional wrestler. I was, high school wrestler.
Yeah.
And that you have to lose weight. You have to lose 5 pounds in one day. So sweating was like that's what we do.
That's
It's like
natural.
you come in, you weigh in, you got to be 95 pounds tomorrow, Kev. Can you
Yeah.
do it? Yeah,
No problem. We've got
Yeah.
it.
no problem.
yeah.
I can do
A
it.
sauna.
And- yeah, exactly. You
So
run, you run with plastic sweats on. You're running around or up and down the gym and
Yeah.
the bleachers and everything.
Wow.
So in terms of what you were doing in Return of the Jedi, then, so obviously they're impressed with your mime skills. You get the role. Was the first stuff you did in the forest?
The first thing they did was they brought us over to London
I'll just
to
pull that out for a
Elstree
minute.
Studio, and we had to change up the outfits a little bit to make them more stunt worthy, because we're going to be running around, trees are going to be blowing up, explosions are going off, and we have squibs, we have mortars, we have hand-to-hand combat with the stormtroopers, and so we had to make sure figure out how to work these outfits. So we had instead of you've heard of the big 1-inch foam, marshmallow padding that we had all over us from our wrists to our ankles.
Yeah.
Then we would have, we had a quilt underneath that. That was a stunt quilt, so that we could run a little bit faster. We could fight. But the thing was on camera, it didn't look like an Ewok. You look like we look like Arnold Schwarzenegger out there. We're just walking around. We didn't look like the fat, tubbies. We were out there going, "Yeah, I've been working out."
You've been to the Ewok gym.
Yeah, we've been to the Ewok gym. Female Ewoks were going,
Woo!
yeah, we're kicking sand on the other ones. Going, yeah, fat tub of lord, get out of here. And
How long you been on Endor?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Come here often? Yeah.
Yeah, come here. Yeah.
So did you do much filming in London?
Didn't do any. That
was just the outfits.
But what was funny was that when we arrived, the stunt coordinator that we came in with, J.R. Randall, J.R. Randall did all the big, all the Lucas films like
Raiders.
the Raiders, and then there was also he did all the Spielberg films like all those things, Poltergeist, E.T.
Yeah.
He was busy. He was a very
Yeah.
busy, and then he did Raiders after this. So that guy, that boy, he was working. And his dad actually, he was a second generation. His dad was an old cowboy from early like the 50s, 60s, doing stuff. And in fact, I think his dad was one of the guys that helped do that bit where they do on Raiders where the guy goes underneath the car and comes up the back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Years before, it was either him or his dad was on the team that did that. But I don't want to mess up the story and say
I think
that,
you're right. I think
know
the original sort of
right. They said, "Hey, let's do this." It's in my family. And
yeah. I can do this. Yeah.
It's an ode to his dad, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And so
Brilliant stuff.
And so he had picked 4 guys: Felix Silla, myself, a guy
Felix from Buck Rogers.
Yes, Felix from Buck Rogers, who had worked with him on Poltergeist, and then worked with him afterwards on Raiders 2, and Bobby Porter, who had worked on over 400 films, and a guy named Jimmy Briscoe, who was Billy Barty's stunt double. So, and me, and I was and then those two, Jimmy and Bobby went off and got other projects. But when we met the Ewoks in London, they weren't expecting us, and JR had wanted to see what this was like. It was fun the way he was like, they've been fighting amongst themselves because they think they're going to do the stunts. They have no idea you guys are coming here. And we're like, wait, what?
Oh, man. I can
and so when the door opened and they saw us, it was like,
who are these guys?
Yeah, exactly. And we're like,
yeah,
we're the Americans.
Showbiz.
Yeah, it's like 1942 all over again.
Yeah, and then it's the Revolutionary War. Where's George Washington? And me being 22, being cocky, not realizing I didn't really have a filter. I said, "Oh, we're the American stuntmen. We're going to do all your stunts." And they'll go, I got a stunt for you, yeah. Come on, let's take them outside. Yeah. So it was, but they all warmed up. They realized that everybody was, we were all stunt guys. Weren't. It wasn't that we were just, we just fit the costume and we're gonna go out there and we're just gonna do everything. We're jumping over here and that, and it was. So we we're fixing. We were professional. I mean, all 3 of the other guys have done, had incredible resumes. Mine was just starting, but I was the guy fresh out of college, high school was doing all this gymnastic stuff, like a mini tramp. I was like, oh yeah, I remember this. And they're like, and the other guys are going, how'd you do that? It's like, oh, you just do it like this. So and I had no fear. I was 22. I had no fear. Yeah, let's do it. Can you fly into the wall? Yeah, sure, I can do that.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Want to catch yourself on fire?
Let me think about that one.
Well, we did. We caught ourselves. We get so close to the fire and stuff. It would just kind of melt and burn and things.
Oh, really?
So then when we came back, we had to wait for another 4 months for all the other filming to be done. Then when they came, first they went to Yuma, Arizona to do all the Jabba barge stuff, and that was actually pretty hairy. Those guys going down into the Syriac pit.
Yeah.
When you see them hit the side, that's not what they were supposed to do. When you hit the side, some of those guys were breaking bones, like their collarbone or something, and then rolling in. And there was a pad down underneath the mouth of the Syriac pit. And so when you drop down right in between, it's like hitting a bullseye with the darts.
Yeah. I'm forgetting the name of the stuntman. I know he broke his arm doing that stunt, doing that dive.
Mhm.
He also worked on Superman. I've interviewed him, but his name's not coming to my mind right now. Sorry,
Right.
anyway, carry on.
Right. But so I got the guys who were left, guys who had made it through, and so they were the stunt doubles for like Julius LaFleur, Larry Holt, and Mike Cassidy were three of the guys that I got to know very well of doing the different stunts and things and beating over the head with clubs and things.
So speaking of, well, I'll tell you a little story. I don't know if you're aware of this one, but you're speaking of like the Ewok costume setting on fire and stuff like that. So apparently, one of the days on the set, Kenny Baker was dressed in the Ewok costume, and his costume set on fire. And of course, like one of the stagehands or assistants or whatever dived on him to put the fire out, but Kenny had absolutely no idea that he was on fire. So he basically took the helmet off and said, "Right, what's going on here?"
Son of a bitch, get away from me!
What are you doing?
How are you doing? Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? I'm Kenny Baker. Do you know who I am?
Brilliant. So
I can have you fired.
Yeah. You're out
Get
of
off
here.
the set. Don't ever come in. Put on your own fire. I'm in the
mini-tones. I'm in the mini-tones.
Mini-tones. A lot of people don't know that. He was really good with the harmonica. He'd play, what was his tune? Mac the Knife. He'd always play there was a bar across the street that we'd go to. It was like a country western bar. And he'd go up to the band and he'd play Mac the Knife all the time. Jack never got on with his horn. I don't know if, packing a horn and packing a harmonica is a little different. Jack never got up there and played his horn.
No,
Did
Jack
you
was
play
great.
harmonica yourself?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
I do play.
You're in the original harmonica band or something?
The original harmonica band. We were much more of a comedy act. The whole premise of that was they wouldn't let me play, and so then I broke up the band. They're all playing, and I would come in late. We're all playing around there's a guy who has a big, what is called a bass harmonica. Then another guy has a chord harmonica, which chord harmonica is 3 feet long. And he was basically the guy. And then we had a couple of lead players. And then we had a leader. And he would go, and he'd be playing like this, like he's leading the band. And I come in late, and we're playing tune called "Jumping to the Woodside." And I would come in late, and the guy's keeping time with his leg, and he's playing along, going like this, boom. And I come in, and he kind of adjust, and so he'd keep his time with his leg, but his knee is right under my butt. So as his knee's going up, I'm going up and down like this. What the hell's going on here? What's going on here? Hey! Knock it off. Knock it off. And the guy's like, what am I doing? He has no idea what he's doing. So he's going back to playing and just taking time with his leg, and then I'm going up and down like this. It's like, hey. So I go walking over the leader, and it's all done in mime. I walk over the leader, and I go, hey, this guy is going like this, and it's under my butt, and I'm going up and down like this. And the leader's looking at me going, get back in line. Go back and start playing. When meanwhile, everybody's playing. The audience is going, what the hell's going on over here?
Yeah.
So I get back in line. Now the whole audience is just beelined right in. They're like, what's he going to do now?
Yeah.
So it's like, I get over there. Yeah, it was basically a Vegas act. That's what it is. And I get over there. I get there, and I just look at the audience. And the knee starts going up and down. And I'm looking at that, and I just look at the audience. I turn around and just go, boom, smack the one guy, smack the other. I just break up the whole band. I just start fighting with everybody. Just, they have to break it up. And then the leader's looking at me, and it's all done in mime. And the guy looks at me and goes, what the hell are you doing? What's going on there? I said, I told him.
Yeah.
He's like, get back in line. You couldn't follow us. We were, but as a player, Kenny was a much better player.
Yeah.
Kenny was a much better player than I was. I did a few tunes. It was more physicality that I did.
Yeah.
And of getting in there and fighting with everybody. And now it's really tough to find just six. You used to have blues harp players or chromatic players with the button. Chromatic's the one with the button.
Yeah.
And but who plays a bass harmonica? Who plays it's a $1,500 to buy one of these chord harmonicas.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's, hey mom, I want to play the chord harmonica.
Yeah. No.
I don't think that.
No, we're gonna stick with the piano.
Yeah. Here's your
We're
violin.
gonna go with the piano.
Yeah. I think the only time I've ever seen a picture of that of the ones that size is like there's a shot of
Johnny
the Beatles.
Paleo and the Harmonica Rascals. You ever see that?
No,
Yeah,
I've
that
seen
was a band back in the 30s. We were kind of a recreation of that.
Right.
Johnny had passed away back in the 70s, and so he had passed away a while ago. But it was a very, it was tough to follow.
Yeah.
If you're going to do that act, you're going to come on and be a torch singer after us.
Yeah,
you're a comedian. You better be funny.
Yeah.
You better be really good or really funny, because we just took all your laughs.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But with a band, that happens is one guy gets mad at the other guy, and the guy who played that chord harmonica got mad at another guy and said, well, he took his harmonica and went home. And it was like, oh, wow. He was actually the most important part of the band, because you couldn't find another guy who played that.
No.
Once he left, it was like, well, there goes the band. To try and find you can't really put that out on musicians. The musicians illustrated of, we're looking for a chord harmonica.
Yeah. Sorry, you had the one guy.
It was good. We still talk. He's fun. It wasn't between me. It wasn't my fault.
Well, that's all right then.
We had a great comedy. It was somebody else.
Right.
So then
stuff happens.
So you were doing the stunts in Yuma then?
No, not in Yuma.
Sorry,
they came up from Yuma in what is a small town, Smith River, California, just on the border of California and Oregon. In fact, our motel was in Oregon, and the production was done in California, and we had, it's so small up there. It's probably maybe 6,000 people that live in the big town of Crescent City.
Yeah.
And that was a half hour away. Okay. That's how small the town, that's where we were. We were in, it was a bunch of lumberjacks and bartenders.
Yeah.
Now it would be a bunch of like Silicon Valley people who are working from home, millionaires. But at that time it was a working class area. Yeah. And farmers, people who would support that type of, fishing, because we were right on the coast, and it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful up there.
Yeah. How long were you out there for then?
5 weeks.
5 weeks.
Okay. 5 weeks we were there.
So were you working mainly all with the stormtroopers? Or are you working with main cast as well? And
I work with everybody. When you have 30 little people trying to be 300, you're working in everything. And a lot of little people, the outfit, it was very, very tough. Everybody worked very hard. But when you put on a fat suit, and then a fur coat over a fat suit, and then you have latex gloves, and you have latex hands. You have a latex face mask. You have plastic eyes that would fog up, and you're supposed to run and do basically your high school calisthenics.
Yeah.
Whereas the English Ewoks, I'm not putting it. It was just a different. They were on set.
Yes.
They were in town. They were. If they were still in London, if they had to go to the bathroom's just, you go down and it's maybe 100 feet away.
Yeah.
When we had to go, we were in porta potties, and so if we were going to go to the bathroom, then the other guy goes, well, I gotta go. And then, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Well, I've been holding it for a half hour, so I gotta go. Yeah,
Yeah, just go, man.
it's,
Just go, man.
that's not the type I have to do.
Yeah, I get you.
Oh,
Okay. That's not going to work tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah.
But everybody would then say it could be a half hour for a potty break. Because you not only have to strip out of the outfit,
Yeah.
you then now have to commandeer a jeep to go down to the porta potty, which is a half a mile away.
Right. Okay.
And now it's not just me. It's you've got to. This is now. It's herding cats.
And how long did it take to get in and out of the outfit? So like,
it all depends on myself. I had 3 ladies get me in it over in less than a minute one time. From street clothes to on set, it was less than a minute because they knew what they were doing. It was the end of the show, so everybody knew exactly how to put it on. Boom, go. But usually it could take anywhere from and especially in the beginning when you're trying to wait a minute, what's going on here? Be a good 10 minutes to get into it, but that's 10 minutes for 25 people, and you had a lot of like non-union locals being our wardrobe ladies. And so it was quite. Sometimes it'd be quite comical, and some little people are little. When you're running over a bush, where you guys would just step over. They're running into and the bush is pushing back.
Yeah.
So then they, in that same sense, your 4 steps are 10 steps for them. Because it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and plus you're working that outfit. So just to get from getting dressed to the set, they're going, son of a gun, I'm tired. So by the afternoon, they're tired. And the stunt guys, especially me being 22, it's like, you're on contract. We're gonna work you to death. And that's hence why I'm all through the battle. A lot of the guys say, oh, my best scene was on the cutting room floor. No, I got a lot of stuff on the cutting room floor, but I got a lot of stuff on that battle stuff too.
Yeah. You had to work. Yeah.
It was. They really worked the stunt guys. But like I said again, taking nothing from the other Ewoks, everybody is a tough outfit. Everybody worked very hard, and just standing there sometimes. It would be like if you stood and somebody pushed on your shoulders. Yeah. And after a while, you're like, oh, that's all right. And then somebody leans on your shoulders. The outfit does that to your shoulders and it pushes down. And then you're breathing your own CO2. So you're kind of, you're not getting that fresh oxygen.
A bit dizzy.
So you're a little bit dizzy. So, and it's on set with the English actors was very, it's hotter. It's very hot.
The studio lights.
Because the live studio lights. Whereas with us, we had to worry about bugs, spiders, crickets, bees, hornets, all sorts of little funny little things that like to crawl up into your things. Yeah, the bite things. Little earwigs or ticks.
Yeah. You don't get many of them in the studio in London.
No, not really.
Well,
so it was apples and oranges.
Yeah,
is what it kind of was.
Yeah.
Well, I believe on the UK set, as you say, because of the hot lights, the English actors and they'd actually kind of designed the balconies of the Ewok village, like where the sort of banister would be, had actually been designed more for bigger people
average
than
size.
Little people, average size. So so people, occasionally people would fall through, but what would happen was, because of the hot lights and, as you say, in the CO2, people got faint and you had Ewoks falling off the set. So apparently there became somebody who was designated as the Ewok catcher to catch any Ewoks. collapsing off the set. So that's what I was told anyway. Kevin.
It's raining Ewoks.
I can never.
I got it. Come here. I got it. Yeah. Yeah.
I got it.
He's can of corn.
So what was the main highlight of Jedi then for you?
For me, it was getting it. I was a Star Wars nerd, getting the job, and then realizing that I was actually in it. Just the camaraderie.
Yeah, and you're in it a whole bunch.
And it's like in the very beginning. I don't know if you were in Star Wars Cantina when I did a play-by-play. I swing into the village. There's another Ewok that keeps. He's selling that picture and signing it, and it's like I've told him. I said, "Dude, that's not you." And in fact, I told his agent. I said, "That's not him." He says, "Well, how do you know?" It's like, "Cause it's me."
Yeah,
it's me. I'm the one that rests my life doing that damn stunt. I don't want somebody else putting their name, and I'm sure the fans don't want that.
no,
But
exactly.
you as a fan who wanted a picture and he's signing it,
No,
if I'm not in the picture and they give me a picture, I go, I'm not in this.
Yeah,
I just want you to know I'm not in this. I will sign it. Hey, you know what the heck? If you want my signature, I understand, but I am not in this picture.
Yeah.
And then either they'll take it back and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, okay." And it's like, but I got mine here. You want these? I got some really cool ones.
Yeah.
And
but signing a
since
picture
you've
without saying that, it's
and
not plain square.
that's been probably a big gripe of mine. Of the people will sign things, and it's like that's not you. And as a fan who does that, they don't. They were doing that, but I think there was like 6 different stormtroopers who were claiming who was the one that bumped his head.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, dude, if you were the guy that bumped his head.
Of course you do.
Because he reacts. If you're not the guy, say, "Oh, I'm the guy on the right," or I don't say, "Yeah, I'm that guy," because then you ruin it for the fans. And I look at it as a fan. And that's the amazing thing is that the fans have been so passionate and know so much.
Yeah.
That's the craziness thing of this whole this whole fandom and just the Star Wars journey and things.
Yeah.
Now we have Disney Plus you've got Mandalorian and some other of these different offshoots, which are like, well, yeah, what did Obi-Wan do between the time that he left and the time that he became, an old man? What was that?
I believe the Ewok movies are now on Disney Plus too.
Yes.
Residuals, baby.
I watched them years and years ago, back in the 80s, so I need to catch up with them.
You got to remember that you're 4 years old. They're not made for a 25-year-old guy going, "We're gonna kick ass." No, they're made for George. Made them for Amanda, his daughter, who was 4 or 5 at the time.
Yeah.
When you're a filmmaker and you're going through a hard time of what he was, they were going through that big divorce at the time.
Yeah.
And he wants to give his daughter something special. Hey, let's make an Ewok movie.
Great.
Yeah. I liked it. That was Warwick Davis doing that one. Warwick, I know. Do you guys know that Kenny was supposed to be Wicket, right?
Yes.
Do you know that whole story? Did anybody ever tell you that whole story?
Please tell it.
I don't know the details.
Well, we were working, like I said, we're working very, very hard. The costumes it was very tough. And Kenny didn't feel well that day. And it was, he had been working hard and he just wasn't able to get up and work that day. Yeah. He had to take a day off. It just was the wrong day to take a day off because it was Carrie's last day. She's going to go down to ILM and do some work down there. It's her last day basically up in the Redwoods. And so now everybody's going, now what do we do? This was the day. This all day was to do that scene.
Yeah.
And Peter, the first AD, Peter, shoot, I forget his last name. Peter said, let's try Warwick. See what happens. And Warwick, that's what I'm saying. When Warwick got on the set, he was just so genuine. He would just, he would go up to people and go, hello, how are you?
Yeah.
What do you do? I'm the costumer. Oh, brilliant. You make everything we wear. That's so brilliant of you. I never does it.
How old is he? Was he 11 years
like
old?
12, 11, 12 years old. You know, and then you go up to somebody else and you go, hello, what do you do? I'm a carpenter. Really? Brilliant. You make everything that we're standing on. And I goes, well, yeah. It's like, wow. You know, and everybody would feel good about themselves. And it was just, he was brilliant.
He put a smile on people's faces.
He put a smile on everybody. And so the cast liked him, the crew liked him, the production liked him. And so they're like, you know, we're going to bring him to America. And I don't know, we'll pay the fines, whatever. We're just going to get him that food poisoning is another word for I said ill. I just said ill.
Cheers.
Cheers. And we'll leave it at that.
Yes, we will.
But the thing is Warwick played it like a child because he was a child.
Yeah.
And Kenny would have played it differently.
Yeah.
I'm not saying one is better than the other. And, you know, we never really saw what Kenny's was. Kenny's a brilliant actor. But people like, you know, once you saw Warwick do it his way, it's like, well, that's it. That's wicked.
Yeah.
I believe that performance got us the Ewok movies. Not me doing all the stunts, jumping here, dying and chopping things. No. That didn't get us the Ewok movies.
Right. So it wasn't.
It helped. It helped. It was Warwick. Warwick got those Ewok movies. You know, it was. Wow. I just happened to be the big woodsman and got to play the ultimate testosterone Ewok.
Yes.
Ewok on steroids, Chukatruck.
Yes.
I think we've got a picture. Yeah.
We have got a picture. Yeah.
There's another picture of the.
This is it.
Chukatruck.
That's you?
Yes. I'm not really the most, you know, it's only a face a mother could love.
Not the most attractive Ewok.
Not the most attractive Ewok. When people say, oh, they're cute, it's like, have you seen Chukatruck?
He's a badass.
You know, yes, he is. He is a badass. He takes on the Gorax all by himself.
Yeah.
Had Mace not let those fairies go, I think I would have won. But you know, he just did. It was a cross. You know, it lost something in the translation. He was trying to he was trying to help me.
Yeah.
Sometimes you know, it's like a plumber. I can let you can help me by standing over there.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Don't hover.
Farther. No, don't. I got this.
Yep.
Stay.
Yeah.
Stay. Yeah.
And it was all in good fun. He knew it. He thought it was helping, but got me killed.
Yeah.
One of
there
those
you go.
things.
So a couple of quick fire questions as well. Brian's asking, can you ask Kevin if he has any favorite souvenirs from the productions he's been involved in? Thanks.
You know, I've been stupid and I don't have a lot of. It was tough to just when these Comic Cons were just starting out. The first time an agent said, hey, do you have any pictures of yourself? And I said, well, I'm here and here and here and here and here.
Yeah.
And they went, oh, we don't have those pictures. I was like, well, here. And then they'd show a picture. I was like, no, that's not me. And I didn't have time to pose for pictures because I was working. So not until people were able to get like screenshots and take them off was I able to, you know, just recently the horn blowing one I was able to find. because in the very beginning of the battle, I jump on the I'd start the battle, do that, then I jump on the stormtroopers, then I shoot the arrows one side, and then I shoot the arrows the other side, and then I come flying in on a rope. So I'm like the first 20 Ewoks, I'm like 15 of them.
Brilliant. Love it.
You know, it just happened that in the cutting.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just, for me, it was just a day of work. What are we doing today? All right, let's do it. When are we going home? When the sun goes down? Okay.
Yeah.
And we just
Me.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
Brilliant.
And
Fantastic.
it's my mom still didn't know where I was. I go, that's me. She goes, they're all brown.
Yeah.
I don't know. I go, it's just mom. When they show an Ewok, just say, my dad would always go, my son the doctor, my son the dentist, and my son the Ewok. You have a son that's an Ewok? I have a son that is a doctor and a son that's a dentist. You have a son that's an Ewok?
Yeah.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
It is a bit of a mic drop.
It was funny. It's yeah.
So
It's go ahead.
Sorry, in terms of on-set stuff, like there's I don't know if it's like a fan rumor or like just what kind of people have said over the years, but I don't know what your experience of it was, but a lot of people kind of said that obviously Richard Marquand was the director, but it was almost like he was kind of like a ghost director for George Lucas was kind of still directing it, but I don't know. From people I've interviewed and spoken to on set, they said that Richard was very much directing and George was taking a back seat. But I don't know what your experience of that was.
I noticed that Richard was directing, and in fact, my very first time on set, we're getting it's that what the kind of like the Wizard of Oz scene when we all appear out of the bushes and all the heroes are right there.
Yeah.
And we were doing stunt work, and 3 guys had just been named to replace the 2 guys that didn't come up. So testosterone was rolling with us. And we were trying to outdo each other because we're learning all sorts of new things to do with not only the mini tramp, but we had a Russian swing, we had ropes, we had fighting, and then learning how to fight in these things. And these guys were on the Hollywood Shorties with me, so I knew that how good they were, and the better ones were going to be used in more scenes. And so this was going to be an extra scene. And I'm like, son of a Willie, and let's all line up. And he went down and inspected us, like, okay, you, and you is all he needed was a camel prod, just and you. And a little whip, type of thing, but he's just pointing to the different Ewoks, and so all my buddies and I were all dressed, and he picks me. I was like, and they all get out and they go back to training. It's like, I'm losing. I got to get back into training because these guys are gonna pass me up. Not realizing that. I was doubting myself in that sense. But now I'm going to actually be in Return of the Jedi. And I'm going, son of a gun, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. I'm way in the back. I'm behind a bush. Nobody fucking sees me. Action. Ooh, we're so scared. Ooh, who's this?
Yeah.
Cut. You there in the back.
Uh-oh.
You're looking quite bored. Is there a problem? And here I'm the big money guy. I'm the guy in contract. Everybody else is extra. I'm a money guy. And he's calling me out.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he's calling me out.
Yeah.
I was bored. I was giving him nothing. He showed my was like, sorry, sir, won't happen again. So he was directing because he called me out.
Yeah.
He got me like,
Yeah.
He noticed.
Didn't happen again. Never did that to me. But this very first day on set, and so all the other Ewoks just chided me. The whole rest of them, oh yeah, way to go, Kev. Good job. Glad it was you, not me. Glad it was you. Yeah. Way to go, Kev. Pat me on the back as they would go by. Way to go, Kev.
You took one for the team.
Keep them. Keep it up. Just keep it up, because hey, Yeah, so it was, but we were a family. So I would have to say that Richard, during my time there, he was directing. Of course, he would look over and say, George, is this what because it was his vision. So
Yeah,
if I was directing, I kind of would say, do that, and then say, do you think that's what you think it is? Because once they left, we were in second, and we were just doing second unit. It was the first AD who was now directing, and Jim Glennon, who was the DP in the States, he would get a shot sheet and he would look at it and he'd go, and he'd look around and just go, oh, okay, all right, set up the camera here. Let's get a 50 millimeter lens, and and then start designing the shot that way, because it had already been drawn out the way that the director and Richard and George had approved. So this is the shot that he wanted to shoot.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
So after Star Wars, you've done other movies and other TV, like Dexter. You did Dexter. What was that like?
I did. That was fun. That was an incredible. It was an improv audition, because there was like 2 lines, and I just went for it. The guy says, you're just an elf having you're not the typical elf. You are an elf because you're dressed that way, but you just found a dead body, so it's not really the best of times.
Yeah.
And so Debbie Carrington, who plays the elf next to me, was the Ewok who has the dead body. The 2 Ewoks together.
Yeah.
One of the saddest movies in all of cinema.
Yeah.
She was an extra. She was an extra doing that scene.
Wow.
And so she was. She got on Ewok movies after that. She had a wonderful career before she passed away a couple of years ago. But she was a Spitfire too. So when we were together, we did this scene, and we just improv that whole. Basically, it was written, but we just added so much to it, and they let us. I don't know how much. We had a lot longer scene during our time.
Yeah.
But we just went at it. We were just, because we knew each other. We were like improv partners, and we just went back at it. My wife was actually standing in on the show for the little kids, and she had heard about this. My agent hadn't even got me on the audition, and she said to the producer, "Do you think my husband can come in?" Or no, she said, "Call your agent. You're supposed to be here. They're doing a calling. They're doing an audition." So then I got on my phone, yelled at my agent. My agent got me in there, and I got in.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
it's just, you never know with an audition, you can walk out going, "I did so good. Where's the phone call? Where's the phone call? Where's the phone call?" Yeah, and other times going, "Oh God, that was horrible. Yeah. Why am I even an actor? Why am I here? I'm gonna go get a welding. I'm gonna go into Oh, I got it. Oh no, it's you don't know what it is. I a lot of times I look at it and go, there's the casting director walks into a bar with 150 women in there, but he can only pick one.
Yeah.
And he has he has enough time to say, "Hello, how are you?" And she can say, "Fine, how are you?" And he has to go off of that.
Yeah.
Now the person that they went off of looked exactly like what he wanted, but she talked like that. Hi, or she's just a complete diva, but you didn't know that until you got her on set.
Sure.
Or
exactly.
a guy, it's the same type of thing. And you don't, auditions are kind of like that. So you want that first little
Spark.
bit, is that little
Yeah.
spark, is it what happens? Is that something between me and the director? Is there nothing? How do I make it? And that's where all these people with audition classes, and a lot of times you just have to, it's auditioning now is completely different, because you send it in, you have no one-on-one with the
Is that right?
casting director, until like the second call. So once you got past the second call, hey, we're coming back for the call back, and oh boy, I got the call back. But it's
Self-tapes.
until then, it's all self-tape, and so you really don't. It's like people sending you tape, and you got going, yeah, okay, it's.
Yeah.
It's a different world.
It is.
Yeah,
It's a shame. I think. Well, obviously, it's been dictated by the situation we've been in probably over the past year, but we are kind of losing human contact, aren't we?
But hopefully, now that we get the vaccines, getting the vaccines, hopefully we'll start getting herd
Get
immunity.
back on track, and the cinemas can open again, because that's something that I've missed personally, is going to the movies.
Oh, definitely.
And people are worried that they might never come back, but I'm sure they will.
My grandmother talked about the pandemic of 1920, the
Spanish
flu, the Spanish flu. You know what's funny about the Spanish flu? It was started in like Kansas.
Yeah.
Why do they call it the Spanish flu? Kansas.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's crazy. They didn't call it the Kansas flu. Oh,
no,
they call it that. The Jayhawk.
There is a reason for it. I think it's that's where it was. I don't know. First, not discovered per se, but there is a reason for it. I just can't remember off the top of my head.
It's one of We'll remember it while drinking a pint.
Yes.
I just wanted to refer quickly back. I know this comment is from Brian. I think he was basically talking about the scene. Your female colleague who did the Ewok death scene.
Oh, the Ewok death scene.
Oh, yeah, Debbie Carrington.
Debbie Carrington. He said he was scarred for life.
Kind of like Bambi.
Yeah,
Bambi,
There is a meme. There's a meme floating around online where, like a boyfriend and girlfriend, husband and wife, and she's saying to the husband, there's never, you never cry at movies. What's going on? And then it shows that Ewok scene, and he says, "You want to bet?"
Hold my beer.
The funny thing is when you watch me, I die like 6 times. Like blown explosions. The Ewoks are running away from the ATSTs. I get blown up. I die. There's a great scene. One of my favorite scenes. You were asking that earlier. What is your favorite scene? Favorite scene was Lando Calrissian goes, "We just got to give him just a little more time." And it goes back to Endor, and you see this Ewok go flying. This big explosion happens, and this Ewok goes flying.
Yeah,
that's me.
Wow.
And that was a mini tramp scene, and a mini tramp behind a mortar that I'm standing on a 6-foot platform to jump off the 6-foot platform onto this mini tramp, which is
hit the mark.
Those pieces hit the mark this big, blindly, just blindly walk off, hit the mark, one take, and the mortar is right off of there, and that's what I'm saying. It was no fear, and it made it things like that. People go, "Oh, that was easy." It's like,
no.
Training made it easy. Training made it easy, but
if you're doing that coming in cold, then you could really do
then I was
damage.
Easy for one take, Thompson.
And then when I hit that, I had to fly a good 6 to 10 feet over the redwood log that was laying next to it, hiding the mini tramp and the mortar explosion.
Yeah,
because we had to hide all that.
Yeah.
To make it look like I'm getting blown up.
Yeah. And what did you land on? It was the crash mats there.
A crash pad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in terms of well, I suppose we'll have to wrap up soon because we've kept you for a long time here, Kevin. But as long as you're okay with that, we'll keep going.
My wife has left me at like talking to the forest. And she said, you know, if the trees actually asked him questions, I'd never get him out of here.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Met your wife too at London. She's a great lady.
Yes, thank you. I love her too. We've been married 34 years.
Wow! Congratulations.
Wow.
Yeah,
brilliant.
she hasn't thrown me out yet. I've got claw prints on the door. So no.
Is she a Star Wars fan?
Actually, she's become one. I took her to the premiere, but in all honesty, I think she'd rather watch the Hallmark Channel than do it. She goes, "We're watching this again."
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah.
My whole family is not into Star Wars.
No,
my
same
whole
as mine.
family, it was
Same
just,
as mine.
oh yeah, our little brother's an Ewok.
Yeah.
And people go, wait, what?
What?
They're and their friends are fans, but
yeah.
Most of my family is not fans. They're like, that's that movie our brother did.
Yeah.
Right.
So I know people don't like to pick favorites, but I'm going to ask you to sort of pick a favorite from, let's say, main cast. Well, let's say the big three. So out of Ford, Fisher, and Hamill, in terms of like offset, goofing around, or just sort of acting opposite them, who was your favorite to work with out of the three?
Three. Now you're saying it's kind of like apples, oranges, and grapes.
I know it's a difficult one.
So it is. You have. I worked with Carrie. Yeah. I worked with Carrie during Postcards from the Edge time.
All right.
During I want to say, Under the Rainbow was around that time. Yeah. She was having her problems. Yeah. And she was very professional. Yeah. Watching her do the scene on the with Mark Hamill in the Ewok village where she finds out she's the sister. Yeah. Didn't blow a line. And that's a 5-minute scene. Yeah. Never had to say line. I'm sorry, line. Neither one of them. And it's a very quiet scene. So you had to find, if you didn't find a spot to rest for 5 minutes, and you couldn't move because it's such a whisper scene. Yeah. And it was that Harrison's the epitome of cool. So it's like you've got how could you not like Harrison? Yeah. There was a great bit on our show where an extra comes up to him and says, Mr. Ford, can you sign this, please? And he goes, yeah. Don't tell anybody where you got it.
Perfect.
And it was as Harrison. And it's production people have said he's so cool because he doesn't need a PA to chase him. He says, put a walkie in my trailer. Tell me I got 5 minutes. Tell me the rundown. I won't be late.
Yeah.
And production goes, God, why can't everybody be like this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mark said, he's still just a big kid. He was excitement to get it. I don't know if you know the things, but he goes, hey, if I don't get it, can I just be a stormtrooper or just get on the set? Because I love this. This is going to be great. I think this is going to be a wonderful film.
Yeah.
So he's really been into the whole thing, and his excitement and exuberance has always been there. A lot of
fans like Mark Hamill because they see him as one of them.
Exactly. Yes, he is. And when you think about it, his character in Last Jedi, how could he not be pissed off? How could he have not been there? Here he's the last guy. He gets his nephew to train his nephew to be the next great Jedi, and his nephew turns on him. And it's like, well, what did I do wrong? What
Yeah.
you know, I gotta just take a break.
Yeah.
What the heck happened?
I do feel bad for
and one day
Mark,
turns into a year, turns into whatever happened to Luke Skywalker. It just was one of those things. But did anybody see the Emperor's kids coming back to see that one? I didn't see that one. The granddaughter to the Emperor, didn't see that.
No.
We're like, who is she? Who is she? He played that so perfect. I don't know who saw that coming.
No,
I didn't.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And when she said that, it's like, oh,
yeah.
Oh, that's right. Well, she's the daughter of Luke, but it wasn't, because Luke had this affair with this alien that didn't know, And then, Princess Leia, they had 2 kids, and they said, I don't know, we're going to hide this one. They had all these different things that go around the internet.
Yeah.
And so there's not a favorite. I'm sorry that Carrie had all her demons, but she was sweet. She was never a diva. She had her, there was never a problem in that sense. I mean, there was problems in her personal life, but it never, there wasn't
carried over.
Personal, carried over to me. No.
Yeah.
And Harrison is just, do we really have time for that?
Yeah. Right.
Can we just do our scene and then go out and go to the bar?
Yeah.
Don't you want to do that? Let's just get it done. And Mark is just full of excitement and a fun guy. The 3 of them created, it's kind of like having 5 cool guys is boring, but one cool guy, it's like Fonzie. One cool guy is great. If it was a bunch of Fonzies, it's just what's wrong with you guys? You guys are all, it's Lenny and Squeak.
It was 3 completely different personalities together.
Right.
It was, they had a sort of a chemistry like the Beatles had a chemistry,
Right. And exactly. When you really think about it, they all were kind of the same, but they all were just a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3 parts of the 3 parts of the one whole.
Yeah. 3-part harmony.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So in terms of obviously you've done a lot of things, like is there something left that you would like to do or that you wish you could have done? I still
would like to just play a dad. I thought I did a bang up job. I got a dynamite son who's would be anybody's the father-in-law to whoever he marries would love him as a son-in-law. That's how I raised him, to respect people. He's very smart. He's an incredible kid. To show that on screen, or to show that I'm a bad father on screen, just a father, a little person as a father. When's the last time we saw that?
Well,
can't think. Can't think.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Or,
Willow.
Gosh, was that 19? Now we're talking 1980.
That's a long time ago.
Exactly.
Something.
Exactly. Too long.
Yeah. And so
hopefully that'll change.
They haven't even, people are saying, oh, well, there's more ethnic diversities. There's more, we're seeing more of this type or that type. We're not seeing little people.
No.
What they do is they write a great part and then they stick a Ian McShane's head on them.
Yeah. Crazy.
Lord of the Rings, a movie about little people. Hobbit, a movie about little people. Not one little person in it. So don't give me any bit about this ethnicity doesn't have rights and this ethnicity is not being shown and why didn't we vote for this one? true. They're very fine actors in all those different ethnicity parts. But hey, we'd like to just at least get a chance.
Yeah.
Just a chance.
Quite
Do
right,
a little,
that's
just a little movie with just not just life.
Just a real life.
Just
drama,
real life.
whatever,
Not the real lives are all these reality shows.
Yeah.
That's where
Nobody
they
wants
show
that.
that's just real life. I mean, a scripted comedy drama, whatever, of the struggles of what I go through. Of just what a real struggle is? Going out to buy a pair of pants.
Yeah.
Right.
Pair of pants, because I have a normal waistline, and my butt is, I got some junk in my trunk. I'm not built like a typical 8-year-old.
Yeah.
Which I'm the size of an 8 to 10-year-old.
Yeah.
But so I have to buy men's pants and then have them hemmed. A men's shirt and have it hemmed.
Yes.
Right.
That was in, it's, you're talking about drama. What do they do? What do they do? We do everything.
Yeah.
We have doctors. We're lawyers.
Yeah.
But dads, that's just one of the things. They just don't, I don't know why they just don't make it as the mean old lady next door. That'd be fun. Mean old man next door,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, we kicked the ball in Mr. Thompson's yard.
Yeah.
He's not going to kick it back. He's going to pop it.
I'd like to see that. I'd like to
Ball's
see that.
Mine. You kick it in my yard.
Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn.
I'd like to see that. Brian came in with a comment. Great points, Kevin. Hopefully things will change.
Yeah. I love that.
Well, maybe. I mean, I don't. Obviously, it's not a real life thing, but I know they're bringing Willow back as a TV thing, so there may be
it's a Disney Plus
opportunity there. I don't know.
I don't know if they've started that or not. I know that COVID is still going crazy because I know that Warwick is still back, and I don't know if he's gone yet to go do that because that was shot in New Zealand. I was doing a lovely movie at that time. I was too tall for Willow. They told me that. They said, really? Ron Howard wants everybody 4 feet and under.
Okay.
I'm 4'5".
Right.
I'm 4'5". I'm too tall.
Too tall.
So I did during that time, I did Garbage Pail Kids. There's a classic.
Yeah. I used to collect the cards. It's funny. I did audition for the Hobbits in New Zealand.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you get in?
I didn't. No. Unfortunately,
too short.
I was under the correct height. I mean, they weren't after little people though, like you said. It was.
They didn't go after little people. They went after short actors, not
short actors. Yeah.
There was not a dwarf on that show.
That's true.
Maybe as a photo double. All right.
Yeah.
That was
they did certain scenes. Yeah, that's right.
What's his name? Did the doubling stuff, didn't he?
Yeah, good old what's his name?
Was it? wasn't Deep Roy? Was it? I can't remember.
Deep Roy. Could have been.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it
might have been. I can't remember.
Well, he's Indian. Well, he's got pretty dark skin. I don't know.
Yeah, they had latex masks of the actors shrunk down.
Oh,
and then
okay.
Yeah.
I could see Deep doing it.
Yeah. Again, little people. Could have been little people.
Yeah. Put somebody else's head on them.
Well, if I can,
I wanted to be. That was one of the things that I would have loved to have been Gimli. When I read Lord of the Rings, I just really loved Gimli. The axe, just the machismo, just the banter with the elf Legolas. It was just such a. And they use John Rhys Davies, 6'4" or 6'1", whatever.
Yeah, big guy.
I don't get to read for his parts.
No,
got a bug out here.
Very true.
I got a friend that's come here. Yeah.
Well, you never know. Indiana Jones 5. Kevin Thompson plays Solo.
There it is.
I'd like to see that.
I'm the bad guy.
Indy.
Indy, what are we going to do? What's great is that he's been able to do so many different. He's ethnically ambiguous.
Yes.
What
yeah.
He's got this accent which is kind of crosses over a lot of different boundaries.
Yeah.
But you don't really know where he's from.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know, whereabouts is he from? Which is neat, which is great. They're casting a lot of people like, we want an ethnically ambiguous. He's going to play a little person. We're going to stick his head on a little guy.
No. So
stop doing that. You know. Yeah, I agree.
So what's next for you, Kevin? A few irons in the fire.
I got some irons in the fire. I have I'm reading a book next week on tape for my first time doing that.
Wow.
And so that'll be different. You just have to go back to first grade reading of reading the book and being excited and scared and realizing what punctuation is and slow down at that comma and stop at a period.
Yeah. Brilliant. Good practice.
So yes. Yeah. So that'll and then a couple of different things. Now because of the vaccine, Hollywood is starting to open up. It is crazy that its TV season is now ending. The group that I was working with, I was not needed on there. What a lot of little people do too, excuse me, is we work as a child stand-ins for on like TV shows of where while the child is at school, you're performing with the other actors.
Sure, yeah.
Because you like a scene of like six people around a dinner table. Yeah. You need that.
You're doing the reverse shots.
You do the reverses. You do you shoot all the money right on the child and the master shots. But then you do, while now the child can only work a set number of hours, and then two have to go to 3 hours of school. Yeah. And so in that time, you can't just wait for them. You have to go on with the production. So now I'm learning the lines. I have to say the lines in the same cadence as the child. I can't use my own cadence. I use how the child was, but I can't use it too young. And then they're looking at me. I'm not 8. I'm over 8. And so some. I used to work on Malcolm in the Middle, and Bryan Cranston and I used to have a great time doing things together. And Jane Kaczmarek and Frankie Muniz. We'd have a great time playing all the different, we'd have fun doing it because you realize, all right, I'm saying these lines, but it's to my brother, but it's to Kevin. It's not to, it's not to the actor.
Yeah.
Which is because and then they have to realize and then come back. You have to give them promotion. So it pays the union. You're making the union benefits.
Yeah.
And so and then sometimes they throw you. It's like, wow, we like the way you're doing that, and then you're able to get things off that. And so but the crew that I worked with the last 4 years, there's no children on it, so it's like nuts. You make your. And so it's just what the luck of the draw. You got to grab and reinvent yourself every couple of years, and now grab something else.
Absolutely.
And so during this time, you can't go out and meet people. There's no meet and greet. Everything's over Zoom. So it's a completely different. It's a different way of looking at everything.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, we'll look forward to whatever it is you're doing next, Kevin.
I think you'll be hearing about it within the next month and a half.
Oh, really?
You'll be going. That's what he was talking about.
We'll keep our ears to the ground.
So maybe you'll be wanting me back, and we can pitch what I'm doing. Right now, I just don't want to jinx it right now.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll have you back definitely.
Anytime you're welcome. Make sure you let me know what it is. Yeah. Go on, Matt.
Will do.
I was just going to say, would you ever consider coming back to the UK for a convention once everything's up and going again? And
oh, definitely. We had a great time. We came out a couple of days early. We got to see the sights. We went over to Stonehenge. We took the boat down the Thames, and we had a I didn't realize that the Cockney accents were completely different across the river.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it's no, we had a great guide who was saying, yeah, the guides over there, yeah, we get in fist fights in the because they don't, you know, and it's like, wow, I don't know if this is true, but it's a great story.
Yeah,
you know, it was a lot of fun. It was and everybody was very, very nice there. Couldn't believe it was so hot. It was like,
yeah, it was really hot.
You were having a bad heat wave.
Yeah,
you know, we had tea at Windsor Castle. You know, we did a lot of the tourist stuff. So I like to go see some countryside and stuff.
Yeah,
and my family, my grandmother is from Ireland. She came over in 1906.
Right.
So
wow.
I do have some UK in me.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My favorite beer is Sam Smith.
Very good.
Oh, really?
That's a nice bitter. Yeah.
Oh,
good man.
I like
Good
that
man.
one.
Well, next time we come, I'll get you on the Donkey Stone. That's
okay.
That's the brewery that I'm involved with. So we'll get you.
Oh,
on
okay.
Next...
Donkey Stone. I don't know if I've had that here. Maybe they have to send me a case.
Yeah. Let me see if I can sort that out for you. No problem, Kevin. Brilliant.
Yeah,
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Sorry. Go on. You're going to say. Oh,
something.
I
just was saying I could be the spokesman here in the States for Donkey. What's
Donkey
it?
Stone.
Donkey.
Now that sounds
Donkey
like an offer you can't refuse. Donkey Stone Brewery. Yeah.
You heard it here first. Nice one.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks very much, Kevin. Absolute
All
pleasure.
Right, guys.
It's been an absolute
pleasure.
pleasure.
All the best.
Okay.
Thank you, Kevin. Good night, everybody.